But over in California, former Motown producers Freddie Perren and Dina Fakaris were making a big noise with artists such as Peters and Herb. This hot new production team were also on the lookout for a solo diva to record their own songs, including one that went by the name of I Will Survive. But to disappoint thousands of jilted lovers everywhere, the lyrics weren't about telling an ex they weren't welcome anymore. They were actually written by Dino when he was sacked from his job at Motown Records.
The truth is they let me go after almost 7 years. And I was a young fella, an unemployed songwriter, and was contemplating my fate. Turned the TV on, and there it was, a song that I had written for a movie theme, which was entitled Generation, was playing right then.
Children of love, start the celebration.
Well, I took that as an omen that things are going to work out for me. And I recall actually jumping up and down, if you can imagine a grown man jumping up and down on the bed, saying, I'm going to make it. I'm going to be a songwriter. I will survive.
And from that title was born the song. Dino wrote the words, Freddie wrote the music, but they had no one to sing it.
I remember telling Freddie, the next diva that comes our way, this is the tune we're going to do on her.
And in September 1978, a diva did come their way. Freddie got a call from the record company of one called Gloria Gaynor.
And he actually put his hand on the phone and asked me and said, Dino, would you like to produce Gloria Gaynor on this song, Substitute? I never heard Substitute, but of course I knew we had I Will Survive in our hip pocket. And there was the diva. And I asked, is there a B-side? Meaning, is this a two-sided deal? And he asked, is there a B-side? And they said, yes. He said, yes. I said, I'll take it. This once was Mom and Pop's company store, Freddie Perren's studio.
More than a quarter of a century later, and we're with Dina Fakaris back at the studio where he first met Gloria Gaynor and where they were to record their version of Substitute. But first he had to play her the demo of his own song, the one he wanted on the B-side.
It's always a nervous occasion when one sings a new song to somebody, because she'd have to hear it and okay it.
That demo has never before been heard in public, until now. This is the actual recording that Dino played to Gloria all those years ago.
So check this out. I mean, this is the demo. And that's Freddie. Beautiful. I'm singing. This is what Gloria heard. And of course we had the lyrics typed out and yeah. Yep. She said, is that the B-side? And I said, yes, that's the B-side. Of course, she loved Substitute also. And the task at hand was to, well, get a hit, but Substitute was the main thrust. And this is Studio A. Gloria stood back there, and we had a little booth for her. She had just come off a back problem, and we had some foam rubber baffles for her arms. And, yep, and this is where the rhythm section, 8, 9 pieces, and the piano was there. Of course, the control room is back there. I was so excited. I was here early. I was lighting cigarettes. I was being as accommodating as I possibly could. And it clicked. It worked. Yeah, that's the memories here. Yeah? No tears. Just joy.
But what was it about this track that made it such a huge success? For the first time in 27 years, writer and producer Dina Fakaris has agreed to take a look at the original recording and give us a unique opportunity to reveal its magic.
We were very, very blessed to have magnificent musicians, all first tier. And on drums, it was James Gatson. James was particularly great because he has the endurance and the big foot that is so perfect to fill the dance hall with. Then we had Scott Edwards on bass, also a magnificent bassist. Magic. We had Bob Boogie Bowles, guitarist, gives you beautiful licks just when you need them. We also had Melvin Wah-Wah Reagan. He's got that wah-wah, and he throws it in and to such great effect. It's difficult to write that sound and the feel. On this particular track, we had the benefit of Freddie playing the piano. And the way he played was unique. He played in a percussive way, and I loved it. It inspired me. That would be the rhythm.
Freddie Perren, co-writer of this track and many Motown classics, including the Jacksons' I Want You Back and ABC, died in 2004.
Yo, Gat, what's up?
But the remaining members of the rhythm section are back together for the first time since that recording session.
How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm striving and surviving.
It was the LA Music Mafia, some of which were part of that core Motown group, and others of which were the creme de la creme of the LA session guys. All those cats were on this record.
What's up there? What's up there?
Drummer James Gatson, guitarist Bob Bowles, and bass player Scott Edwards have played with everyone from Stevie Wonder to Bill Withers, Smokey Robinson to Paul McCartney.
Still hanging in there.
We spent more time on Substitute than we did I Will Survive, because Substitute was going to be the single.
That's true.
And so when we come back in, we took a break after we did Substitute. And he had this other tune. And quite frankly, as I remember looking at the chart, there were probably less notes or anything written on I Will Survive than anything that I had ever played on.
My part was just...
Yeah. Simplicity, greatest reality. And I tell you, this was one of the simplest songs that we ever cut with him.
I was happy to see that second song because I didn't have to play a lot of figures.
Yeah,
I said, boy, we're going to get out of here.
Yeah.
And
then we got into it.
Because we was there so early, I think I was out that night, had some drinking or something.
And Scotty, he just took the bass and he just started playing. And we just kept playing till somebody said, stop.
So for the first time since that session, his legendary rhythm section are back playing I Will Survive.
She was very nice about that. She said, I thank you so much for giving me that feeling on the record.
That's
I
right.
got to meet her. Yeah. She was really, really cool.
And we all could feel it. We all could feel that something was happening.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a session no more.
Yeah.
Now it suddenly became a flow of some positive stuff, and that flow just kept building and building to finally the track was there. And then Freddie just sat back and said, do it.
I think it's like Freddie said,
It was gold.
It was a gold mine.
if every time we heard it, we could say $1, $2, $3, home free.
Yeah. That's the first time we played it together in 25 years. It's probably, cats like us who play in the rhythm section, I've often thought about it, through my career, and I probably live for the groove, man.
That's it.
I live for the groove,
Of course, once we had the rhythm, and then we have the icing on the cake. we dressed for the occasion. It was to have these magnificent musicians, most of them symphony or philharmonic players, to embellish our song. Just magnificent. This is how the vocal sounds by itself. But it was customary to give breadth and depth to the vocal. So she had to do it twice.
The only difficult part of recording I Will Survive was the fact that Dino Fekaris was a perfectionist. Not only was he a perfectionist, he found out that I could double my vocals. And when he found that out, forget about it. He just went crazy with it and wanted to double everything.
And the end result was magic. That's what we hope for. That's what we try. That's what we strive for. And those who have had that feeling of reaching #1, what else can you say? It's magic. It's heaven.